just set myself up for failure, because there's no way I would have been able to do two 45 workouts and then one of them outside with this cold and
some tears, some stress, but I count my blessings.
How to make proper goals and actually achieve them this year. Hi everyone, my name is Ashley and I love making videos similar to this one, but I also do fashion vlogs, travel, days in my life, etc. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I hope that you subscribe, but also stay tuned for this week's video. So without further ado, let's just get into it. I really want to focus on how to not only make attainable goals, but goals that you can achieve. Recently in a video, I talked about how I was feeling guilty and shame because I just did not accomplish the goals I created at the start of this year. I was feeling even more guilty because it's only the third week of the month. Now it's like the fourth week, but at the time it was like only 3 weeks into the new year, into January. I had already fallen off. This video I want to talk about now how to bounce back up, make actual attainable goals, and goals that you won't feel guilty or shameful about overall. So number one, you have to create goals based on the season you are in, and I'm talking about literal. Now while yes, it's important to take inventory on what type of mental state that you're in, and I will talk about that a little bit later, but for now I want to talk about making goals for the actual season you're in physically. So for example, we are in the winter season, which means it's cold outside, it's dark, the light goes away very early. It's just not the best season. So this brings me to my second point, which is creating winter goals. What does that look like and how can you start? So the thing that I feel like makes a lot of people fail at their goals is because they're entering into the new year, which is January, right? And they're trying to make all these goals that are really more summertime goals, if you will. We have to remember that we are still in the winter, okay? Most animals are hibernating still. They're not out, they're not doing a bunch of activities. So with that being said, while you enter into a new year, it's important, it's crucial if even, to not start off with goals that will fit better in the summer. One of the things that you can do is still write out like all of your goals that you want to accomplish throughout the year, but then just kind of like separate them based on what season you feel like would be best to accomplish them. So again, going back to the season we're in now, it's winter. It's cold outside. Where I'm at, it's raining a lot. It's very gloomy. It's windy. You're getting out of bed, you're having to drive to and from places while it's still dark outside. It's just really not the best. So in this type of season, it's important for me not to create a lot of goals that involve socializing or even outside things, because this is just not the season for that. I started off very wrong because I was doing this very intense night routine. I was coming home, cooking like an hour and a half dinner with prep time and clean. And then I was doing this full intense skincare routine, like my shower routine. And then, I'm going to bed and I'm getting good sleep, but I'm waking up feeling even more drained because I'm having this like super long night routine. Now, my night routine is the complete opposite. I come home and I immediately get in comfy clothes. After I'm done, I then make a little charcuterie board. I take out all my little snacks, my cheeses, my meats, everything, and I just kind of snack. Then, depending on how hungry I am still, I make a little dinner. Keyword, little dinner. She's simple. We're not going all out. Something microwavable or a very short time. Then now we move on to our cozies part. My skincare, again, very simple. It's about 3 steps. Just some warm water over my face, a toner to like cleanse any dirt, and then a moisturizer. I take a nice shower, I'm in, I'm out, moisturize the body in comfy clothes. And this is the key point. Literally before 8 p.m. I'm in the bed. I'm in the bed, I have on a cozy little TV show. I'm comfortable. And this has allowed me to feel so much better. I feel so much more refreshed. I feel so much more just happier because I'm not creating a lot of goals that are going to require me to hustle and grind when my season literally is calling for stillness. The winter is the time for you to hibernate. It's the time for you to go inward. It's the time for you to take a break from all the hustle and bustle that you've done in the previous seasons. This is the season for you to appreciate your labor, for you to take things more easy because you've done the work and you've done it well. So some other goals you can incorporate in this season, don't go so crazy with the workout plan. Like, okay, I'm gonna, go and do this like really crazy workout plan. I've seen a lot of people start the 75 hard challenge for the new year, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's probably one of the worst things you could do. And I've seen a lot of people quit because this is not the season for that type of workout. Again, that hustle and bustle type of things. This is the season for slowness. 75 hard challenge is a really like intense challenge. People have done it. I'm not saying that you can't do it, that it's impossible. There's definitely people that's done it and done it for the new year as like a goal, but I just feel like it's probably the worst time to create that. One of the rules with this challenge is not one workout, but 2 workouts, and both workouts have to be 45 minutes. Not to mention, one of the workouts have to be outside. I just feel like that's just a really unattainable goal with literally the weather. Again, where I'm at right now, it has been raining like crazy. I would have just set myself up for failure because there's no way I would have been able to do 2 45 workouts and then one of them outside with this cold and rain and wind and darkness. No. So, this is not the time for you to be doing 75 hard. This is not the time for you to be doing intense workouts. Don't set that up. If that's a goal for you, like I said again, still write out all the goals you want to include. And maybe doing 75 hard challenge is a goal for you. But you probably want to make that a summer or spring goal. Do not make that a winter goal because most likely you will fail. And then you're going to feel guilty. Then you're going to feel shameful. So again, you really just want to make goals that are going to be nourishing for the season you're in, nourishing for the winter months. Some examples of workouts you can do in the winter season can include doing a nice yoga class. That could include just at your house. There's so many videos on YouTube. You don't have to worry about trying to book a class, trying to go out in this cold. Some places it's snow, so a lot of classes may even cancel. I would highly suggest doing a lot of at-home workouts during this time because again, it's probably just a lot on your body and even workers to be trying to going from places while it's the winter. So again, create some home workout sessions. I love yoga, so you can find me rolling out the yoga mat and doing yoga. I just really make it zen and zest. Some other really good workouts are Pilates, maybe getting on the bike if you do have a place that provides like a bike you can use. But I wouldn't really suggest a lot of outdoor workouts or having to go like to and from a lot of different places because it can honestly be unmotivating. Just going outside, seeing how dark it is, just feeling how cold it is, it can be unmotivating. And I'm not the type of person to tell you like, do it even when you're tired, do it even when you're burnt out. That's just not the type of content I create. That's not who I am because I know my body and I know when she needs a little bit of push and when she needs to understand that this is not the time for that. And right now, the winter time is not the time for me to be trying to hustle and bustle. It's just not. So yes, create goals based on the season you are. That's just some winter goals, but there's so many more that you can kind of focus in on that will be more suitable for you in the winter. Now, point number 3, let's go into the spring. This is the time for you to do more things that include creativity because the spring is where animals are starting to come back out, the flowers starting to blossom again, the weather is a little bit more cool, not super cold but also not super hot. This is the perfect time for you to add another hobby. So if you find yourself wanting to learn a new skill, wanting to start that cooking class, wanting to learn new language. This is the time where you will do those goals, because now it's not as dark outside. Your energy is probably a little bit more higher. Again, it's cooler, and you'll just have a lot of more energy to do those things. Another goal that you can put in the springtime can include doing more classes, workouts. So taking that yoga class, taking that Pilates class, taking that boxing class. Because again, it's more cooler outside, the flowers are blossoming. This is also the time where you can incorporate more outdoor activities as well, because the flowers are blooming, it smells a little bit better, it's not so gloomy, it's not so dark, and you'll probably be more excited to actually go outside. This is also the time that if you wanted to start eating a little bit more cleaner, I would definitely suggest you can incorporate that now in the springtime, because it's just more options as well. Versus in the winter, you're probably going to want more comforting meals. You're going to want more warm meals. You're not probably going to be trying to eat salads in the winter time. I'm going to just keep it at buck. Are there people that do? Absolutely. But in the winter, you want to have more comforting foods. Eat the French fries, okay? Eat the soups, eat the ramen. Like, this is the time where you're going to want more comforting meals. Okay, now in the spring is where we can do those more like wraps and veggies and things like that, but I wouldn't really suggest that in the winter time. That's, again, just off my personal preference and some things I've seen from other people and experiences. Now we're going to move into the fall. Let's circle it back. Now we're going to move into the summer goals, right? We're just skipping the summer. This is going to be perfect for you to now, if you wanted to start a karate thing, or you wanted to do more of like a interactive type of sport. This is the perfect time, because it's now warmer outside. You have these really nice fruits. You're probably going to be more interactive. Like, your spirit's just going to be more higher for you to want to interact with people 9 out of 10 times. Okay, so this is the perfect time for you to do more interactive type of exercises. This is also the time where you can now spend more time outside, doing those picnics, having those barbecues, all that good stuff. This is also the time where you do still want to prioritize eating cleaner. This is probably, if you have goals for 2024 of eating clean, this is probably the time you want to do it, because it's super hot outside. You can become very dehydrated. So this is the perfect time for you to create a hydration goal for yourself, because you're most likely going to be drinking more water because of the weather. So it's the perfect time for you to add in, okay, I want to drink a gallon of water. That was one of your goals for this year. Add that in the summertime. It's going to be the perfect time for you to most likely achieve it. This is also the time, if you say, I want to have a goal of taking myself on more dates. This is probably the time to do it, because there's going to be so many different discounts, so many places open. In the winter, there's probably not a lot of businesses that's open, or just fun activities to do. But in the summer, there's probably so many activities open for you to do, and again, have that luxury of having choices to take yourself on a date. This is the perfect time, again, if you said you wanted to start hiking more, or learning how to ride a bike. This is the perfect time to add those goals in there. That's just some examples. But again, the summer is where it's going to be really hot outside. You're going to want fresh fruit. You're going to want to be hydrating. You're probably going to want to spend more time with people, have fun in the pool a lot. So create goals that will be best suited for that season. Now we're going to move on to the fall. This is where things are starting to kind of slow down a little bit, get a little bit cooler. It's not so hot, but it's not super cold. And it's now kind of preparing you for the winter. This is the time where I wouldn't do a lot of high activity goals, because literally in a couple months you're going to be in the winter season. And if you start something in the fall, it's going to feel really hard if you don't accomplish that through the end of the year. So in the fall, don't have any crazy intensive goals here. Like, I want to start this new hobby. In the fall, you kind of want to be wrapping up any projects that you started, wrap them up. You want to probably create goals in the fall that include more slowing down. So again, if you was maybe really doing a boxing class, this is the time where you could say, okay, I'm going to give this boxing class one more month, but then I'm going to end the membership. But if boxing really makes you feel good and you've been loving it, keep doing it. But you may want to cut down to only doing 2 classes a month versus every single week, because now it's literally going to be getting more colder. It's going to be getting more darker. Again, if you're in a place that snows, you may not even be able to go out. So you kind of want to start like either fixing some of the goals you have created or closing those taskers and being like, that was a really goal, I accomplished it, I feel happy, I'm now going to move on to something else. In the fall, it's a perfect time as well to spend more time with family. You have, you know, your holiday season coming up now. You got Thanksgiving, you have Christmas that you celebrate. So it's a perfect time to now spend time with family. And honestly, just look back at all that you've done. It's not to say like, oh, give up on the year, but it's really just a time to reflect, I would say, more, and really just set yourself up for the upcoming year. Not to add all that hustle and bustle. You're at that work for 10 plus hours. You're not doing overtime in the fall. No, no, no. Okay, you're going home at the time that you're supposed to go home. You're slowing it down. You could travel during this time as well. There's still some beautiful places, but again, it's more of a slow time. This is a time where when you think about foods, you probably don't want to go on like an intensive diet during the fall because it's just so cozy that you're probably going to want more comforting foods during this time. That's like, for me, I wouldn't put myself on a crazy intense diet during the fall because I know my body's going to hate that. My body's like, girl, why did you put yourself on like all these high intense, you know, healthy foods when you know you're craving more foods that probably have a little bit high in sodium? You're craving more soups during the fall. You're craving more warm drinks. You want that hot chocolate. Why would you put yourself on a diet during the fall? You know what I'm saying? So it's just about preparing yourself. And this leads me to my next point, which is overall, you know you. You know what's suited best for you. Maybe in the fall, you maybe do need to do like a high intense workout because you suffer from seasonal depression. That could be a thing. For me personally, I know that if I try to, like the example with food, if I try to put myself on some high intense food diet during the fall, I'm going to be miserable because I like soup. I like fries. I like comforting foods during the fall. You know, who most people do. You know, I like to drink a little coffee. I'm not going to put myself in some high intense food thing where it's like no caffeine, no tea, no, you know, sugary drinks, when it's like my body's going to be craving for all these type of things. It's the fall. So hopefully that makes sense. So again, it's also just knowing yourself, knowing, okay, typically I would want this. Typically I would like this. Typically I would feel not my best if I was to start up something like that. And then taking inventory of that, making note of that, and choosing to not set yourself up for failure by creating those type of goals in the fall, because it's just not realistic. And so yeah, knowing yourself is really important. Now, to wrap up this video, I do want to say, when it comes to goals, just get as realistic as possible. Okay, like I'm talking about realistic as possible. I know people can be so crazy, like dream big or don't dream at all, but when it comes to goals, I personally feel like the biggest thing you can do is just be as realistic and start slow and then go up. When you oftentimes start super big, you fail because you set yourself up for all these lists of things to do, and it's like, girl, you just started. The best thing you can do is start off slow. That way now you have room to improve. So don't enter into the new year or this next month with these goals that are like, okay, you know, the new month is coming, February is coming, I'm going to set up a goal to work out 5 times a week. Girl, you weren't even working out once a week. So that's like probably not real realistic. Do more of like, you know what? I'm going to work out at least once a week starting next month. You know, again, if you want to wake up early, don't set yourself up for failure and tell yourself, okay, you know what, next week I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. Girl, you've been waking up at 7 a.m. You know, maybe start by saying, I'm just going to wake up 20 minutes earlier than I have. You know, you're getting there slowly but surely. That's what's going to help you, and that's what's going to make you feel good, because next thing you know, you're like, okay, I kept that goal. I woke up 20 minutes earlier. My body didn't feel completely awful. The next week, I'm going to wake up 30 more minutes, you know, and then you can slowly get to where now you're waking up at 5 a.m. and it's no problem. You feel good. You know, or maybe you reassess and say, okay, I was putting myself on this goal to wake up at 5 a.m. and I realized it doesn't need to be 5 a.m. I still feel really productive and I still get everything I want to get accomplished by waking up at 6 a.m. And that's a perfectly good goal for you too. So to wrap up this video, I really just cannot stress the importance of number one, making goals that are realistic for you, knowing what works for you, and giving yourself grace. Don't start off too strong because that's how you're most likely going to fail, okay? With that being said, as always, if nobody has told you, I'm here to tell you that I am proud of you. You are doing enough. You are exactly where you need to be. It is about to be a new month. Let January wash away. Wipe your hands clean and walk into this new month with slowness, with gentle care. We are still in the winter season, okay? It hasn't stopped. March time frame, okay, then we're in the spring. But we're still in the winter, so take it slow. Be gentle with yourself. Be thankful for how far you've come and how far you're going. And yeah, I hope this video was helpful, at least to one person. I hope that it made sense. And without further ado, that's all. Please feel free to subscribe, comment, and like, because you know it's free. So go ahead and subscribe, hit that button. And yeah, until next time.